Would you believe that the supercar brand Porsche once produced a tractor that looked exactly like a coffee bean? Or that there exists a 175-ton monster born solely to devour entire jungles? The world of agricultural mechanics isn't just about slow vehicles moving across fields. It contains inventions so crazy that they are hard to believe. In today's video, we will excavate history together to admire 10 strange tractors you won't believe exist. Each machine is a story of limitless creativity as well as miserable failures. Don't take your eyes off the screen for even a second, especially for machine number 3, because it will give you goosebumps. Hit that subscribe button right now and let's get started. Starting the list is a name that, when mentioned, makes people think of speed tracks rather than farmlands: Porsche. But this isn't the legendary 911. It's the Porsche P312, a tractor possessing the most bizarre appearance in the world. Born in the 1950s, the P312 was designed specifically for coffee plantations in Brazil. At first glance, it doesn't look like an agricultural machine at all, but rather like a miniature high-speed train car or a giant bright orange coffee bean. The aerodynamic design with soft curves covering the entire body isn't for aesthetics or speed, but serves a highly specific and sophisticated agricultural purpose. The biggest technical difference of the P312 compared to millions of other tractors is the fuel. While tractors typically run on diesel to optimize torque, Porsche engineers discovered that diesel fumes clinging to coffee plants would ruin the delicate flavor of the beans. Therefore, the P312 was required to use a 1.8L gasoline engine. Furthermore, the seamless metal body shell covering all wheels and mechanical details allows the vehicle to glide gently between dense rows of coffee trees without breaking branches or knocking off fruit. This was an extremely advanced crop protection design mindset at that time that few manufacturers thought of. However, this very sophistication and luxury caused the Porsche P312 to fail commercially. The use of a gasoline engine made operating costs too expensive, coupled with the sky-high production costs of the Porsche brand, making it inaccessible to farmers. Only a little over 200 units were produced and sold before this line was discontinued. Today, the P312 has become a holy grail in the antique tractor collecting world. Finding an original unit in rural Brazil is almost an impossible mission, and its value today can rival that of a modern supercar. Next is a representative from the frozen land of Finland, the Valmet 1502, also known as the six-legged swamp monster. In the mid-1970s, while most tractor manufacturers were struggling with traditional four-wheel designs, Finnish engineers decided to go big by creating an extremely aggressive six-wheel machine, 6x6 configuration. Their goal was not to create the most powerful vehicle, but to create one capable of going where no other vehicle dared to tread: the peat bogs and harsh flooded forests of northern Europe. The secret to the Valmet 1502's power lies in a unique chassis system called the bogie axle at the rear. Instead of having just one rear axle, it has two axles situated on a flexible bogie. This six-wheel design helps distribute the vehicle's weight evenly over a much larger surface area. According to physical principles, reduced ground pressure helps the vehicle float on soft ground instead of sinking like conventional tractors. When encountering obstacles, the rear wheel assembly can automatically rise and fall to pass over tree stumps or rocks with unusual smoothness, maintaining maximum traction in all situations. Despite possessing superior off-road capabilities, the Valmet 1502 is a classic example of being too far ahead of its time. The overly complex six-wheel drive system made maintenance a nightmare for mechanics of that era. Expensive production costs also caused its price to skyrocket, making it hard to compete with the four-wheel drive tractors that were becoming more popular and efficient. The Valmet 1502 was quickly discontinued, but the image of the bright yellow six-wheel tractor remains a legend, a symbol of the boldness of the 20th century Finnish mechanical industry. If you think tractors are only used for plowing land, prepare yourself to meet the real Terminator, the Le Tourneau G175 tree crusher. This is not a normal agricultural vehicle, but the largest and most terrifying land-clearing machine ever built by humans. Developed by R.G. Letourneau in the 1960s, this beast weighs up to 175 tons, equivalent to about 3 main battle tanks combined. It was born with a single brutal mission: to completely wipe out dense tropical forests in an instant, to clear land for agriculture, or build massive water reservoirs. The operating mechanism of the G175 is truly staggering to anyone witnessing it for the first time. It doesn't use saws to cut trees. Instead, it uses a massive horizontal push bar at the front to ram into the tree trunk at a high point, utilizing leverage and immense weight to snap the tree at its base. Immediately after, the vehicle rides over the fallen trunk, and its giant steel wheels with razor-sharp blades crush and chop the tree trunk right on the spot. Notably, each of its wheels is operated by an independent electric motor located right in the wheel hub, providing enormous instantaneous torque so that nothing can stand in its way. The existence of the Letourneau G175 reflects an era when humans yearned to conquer nature with the most brute force possible. However, its oversized dimensions were also its fatal weakness. Transporting this monster from one place to another was a logistical headache, often requiring disassembly part by part. Furthermore, the fuel cost to feed this machine was astronomical. Today, only one rusting G175 remains lying quietly by the roadside in Mackenzie, British Columbia, Canada, becoming a strange tourist attraction, like a dinosaur skeleton of the heavy industrial age. When mentioning John Deere, we often think immediately of the legendary green color, but few know of their great ancestor, the John Deere Dane. Born in 1918, this was the company's first effort to enter the booming tractor market. What makes the Dane extremely special and included in this list is its incredibly unique three-wheel, all-wheel drive design. At a time when most tractors were rear-wheel drive and very clumsy, Joseph Dane, the father of the vehicle, had a visionary perspective when equipping it with the ability to transmit power to all three wheels, giving it unprecedented traction. Technically, the John Deere Dane is a complex mechanical masterpiece. It didn't use a separate chassis like a truck. Instead, the transmission case and engine were cast as a single unit to serve as the main load-bearing frame, a design that wouldn't become standard for many decades. Its steering system was also very odd. When turning, not only did the front wheel turn, but the drivetrain mechanism also shifted to ensure traction wasn't interrupted. Its four-cylinder engine ran much smoother and was more powerful than contemporary competitors, allowing it to plow the hardest soils without wheel slippage. However, sophistication comes at a cost. The complexity and advancement of the Dane came with a sky-high price tag. In 1919, a John Deere Dane cost about $1,200, while Henry Ford's competitor, the Fordson, sold for just $395 thanks to mass production lines. This massive price gap killed the Dane in its infancy. John Deere produced exactly 100 units before deciding to acquire the Waterloo Boy Company to produce cheaper tractor lines. Today, the Dane is considered the holy grail for John Deere collectors, with only a few units surviving worldwide, standing as proof of an ambitious but unfinished beginning. If Letourneau is the giant, then the Avery 5-10 is the oddest dwarf in tractor history. Appearing around 1916, this vehicle makes people rub their eyes and ask, is this a tractor or an electric chair on wheels? Its design broke all conventional standards. The driver didn't sit in the back or in a cabin, but sat right in the middle, sandwiched between the front and rear wheel rows. The entire vehicle looks fragile like a mobile skeleton, without any protective shields, creating a sense of safety that is both humorous and terrifying. Avery's purpose in creating this bizarre design was to target the cheap mechanized tractor segment, motor cultivator, to replace horsepower in light tasks like gardening or planting corn. The four-cylinder engine was placed right in front of the driver's face, transmitting power directly to the wheels. Because the driver sat very low and close to the ground, they could clearly observe the crop rows to steer the vehicle with centimeter precision. However, this also meant they had to take the full brunt of dust, engine heat blowing into their face, and deafening noise right next to their ears without any protection. The Avery 5-10 was a brave effort to bring machinery to small farms, but its design revealed too many practical inadequacies. Sitting stuck between moving parts posed a very high risk of accidents if the driver carelessly got their clothes caught in the wheels. Furthermore, its 510 horsepower was too weak to do heavier work when needed. Although not a resounding success, the Avery 510 remains an interesting page of history, reminding us of the early days of the tractor industry, when engineers dared to test every crazy idea, no matter the outcome. The name says it all, Little Devil. The Hart-Parr Little Devil, launched in 1914, not only had a scary name, but its temperament was just as evil. This was an effort by Hart-Parr to create a compact, cheap tractor to compete, but they accidentally created a technical disaster. Regarding appearance, it was a three-wheeled vehicle with one steering wheel in the front and two drive wheels with large iron spikes in the back for grip. Looking quite aggressive and powerful, like a giant iron beetle ready to plow the earth. The biggest problem of the Little Devil lay in its heart, a two-stroke, two-cylinder horizontal engine with no valves, valveless. In theory, this design helps reduce moving parts for easier repair, but in reality, it operated extremely unstably. This engine was famous for creating loud explosions like cannon fire and spewing out columns of pitch-black smoke, truly befitting the appearance of a devil. Worse yet, its fuel injection system was very poor, often spraying excess fuel out, causing fire risks, and the spark plugs constantly got fouled, making starting this vehicle a torture for farmers. The failure of the Little Devil was so tragic that it almost collapsed the reputation of Hart-Parr. The company, considered the father of the tractor industry, they were the first to use the word tractor. Realizing their product was too terrible, the company leadership made an unprecedented decision. Recall all vehicles sold to the market, exchange them for a better new line for customers, and melt down all the defective Little Devil units for scrap metal to wipe this stain off the face of the earth. Because of this purge, today almost no Little Devils exist, turning it into a ghostly legend that lives on only through stories. Coming from Italy, the cradle of art and supercars, the Pavesi P4 bears the appearance of a true warrior. Designed by talented engineer Ugo Pavesi in 1918, this was the first tractor in the world to apply a double articulated chassis design and four-wheel drive with large wheels. While the whole world was using rigid iron wheels, the Pavesi P4 pioneered the use of rubber tires and a body design that could twist like a reptile. Initially, it was created to serve the Italian army in pulling heavy artillery through the treacherous alpine mountain roads during World War I. What makes the Pavesi P4 a technical genius is its absolute traction capability. Thanks to the flexible joint in the middle of the body, the front and rear axles can tilt independently of each other. This means that when going through a deep hole or over a large rock, the body will twist to ensure all four wheels always touch the ground at the same time, creating maximum traction without tipping over. This is the precursor technology for modern off-road trucks and forestry tractors today. Additionally, the wheel rims were equipped with metal claws that could fold in and out to increase grip when entering mud. Let's go back further in time, to the era when the internal combustion engine did not yet rule the world. At this time, steam was king, and the Garrett steam tractor was the embodiment of that power. Essentially, this is a locomotive without rails, with a giant horizontal boiler, a towering chimney billowing white smoke, and a flywheel as big as an adult. This machine looks like it stepped out of classic cartoons. Manufactured in England, it represents the pinnacle of steam engine technology applied in agriculture and heavy transport in the early 20th century. Operating a Garrett steam tractor is not as simple as turning a key and starting the engine. It requires a whole crew working hard, a driver and a person continuously shoveling coal into the firebox to maintain boiler pressure. You have to spend hours in the morning boiling water before the vehicle can roll. However, in return for that inconvenience is terrifying power. The steam engine generates maximum torque right from 0 RPM, allowing it to pull massive loads of up to tens of tons or plow through clay soil as hard as rock without any trouble. Despite being powerful, the era of steam tractors like the Garrett quickly faded when compact and more convenient gasoline engines were born. The bulkiness, risk of boiler explosion, and excessive consumption of water and coal made them obsolete. However, the Garrett steam tractor still holds a solemn place in history. Today, at machinery festivals in England, people still often restart these old-timers. Its echoing steam whistle and characteristic chugging rhythm always evoke a glorious, romantic, and dusty industrial era. If you are a gentleman who wants to plow fields but still wants to maintain a polished demeanor, then the Graham Bradley was born for you. Launched in the late 1930s, this tractor is a strange hybrid between the car manufacturer Graham Page and the Sears department store chain. Its most special feature lies in its appearance. It was designed in the streamlined modern style popular at that time, looking more like a luxury car than a farming machine. With glossy plum red paint, a shiny chrome grille, and seamless body panels, it was dubbed the beauty queen of the tractor village. Not only good-looking, the Graham Bradley also possessed very car-like features. It was equipped with a 6-cylinder passenger car engine, making the machine run extremely smoothly and reach a road speed of up to 32 km/h, a staggering figure for tractors at that time, which typically only ran about 8 km/h. The seat was cushioned, the steering wheel was light, and the fully functional dashboard brought an unprecedented, comfortable driving experience. The manufacturer wanted to prove that farming didn't necessarily have to be miserable and dusty, but could also be stylish and fast. However, the fragile beauty of the Graham Bradley could not withstand the harshness of the fields. Although the car engine ran fast, it lacked torque at low RPMs, the most important thing for heavy plowing. The beautiful body panels made repair and maintenance extremely difficult because they hid all the mechanical parts. Farmers quickly realized this vehicle was more like a dandy than a workhorse. Although it failed in sales and disappeared early, the Graham Bradley remains an interesting symbol of the intersection between Art Deco art and agricultural engineering, an effort to beautify the fields. Closing today's list is the Oliver 88 Orchard version, a tractor with an appearance that reminds people of submarines or retro spaceships. Unlike ordinary tractors with bumpy details, the entire body, wheels, and engine of the Oliver 88 Orchard are covered by smooth, seamless, curved steel sheets from head to tail. It looks like a giant iron beetle with tight armor, without any sharp edges, exhaust pipes, or headlights protruding out. This strange, fortified design is not for bulletproofing, but to serve a specific working environment: dense orchards. When moving under low canopies, ordinary tractors easily break branches, knock off fruit, or get tangled in branches, causing danger to the driver. The smooth shell of the Oliver 88 helps it slither through the foliage gently. Branches will slide over the body without being damaged. The windshield is designed with a slope. The exhaust pipe lies sunken inside, all carefully calculated to maximize protection for the crops, the main source of income for farmers. Although very effective, this design also had drawbacks. Enclosing the engine in a thick steel shell caused the temperature inside the engine compartment and cockpit to be very high, turning it into a furnace for the driver during hot summer days. However, its aesthetic uniqueness has helped the Oliver 88 Orchard become one of the most sought-after tractors today. Its seamless, smooth appearance mesmerizes collectors because it looks more like an artistic metal sculpture than a primitive labor tool. From the forest-crushing monster Le Tourneau to the flashy but short-lived beauty of the Graham Bradley, the history of tractors is indeed much crazier and more interesting than we imagine. Each machine, whether a success or a failure, is an important stepping stone for modern agriculture today. Which machine in this list impressed you the most? Leave a comment with its name right below so we can discuss it together. Don't forget to give the video a like for encouragement, and most importantly, hit subscribe and turn on the notification bell immediately so you don't miss the next unique discovery videos. Thank you for watching, goodbye, and see you again.